let's talk about price and let's talk about DXY going into the next week. Obviously, you know how we like to do it. Start from a weekly time frame and try and understand on the grand scheme of things, what is price doing on this time frame? Like, where is this coming week candle likely to draw to? You know, like where is this candle likely to get to next? And once you can pick a side, then the your approach for the remainder of the week should like be on a very easy flow. So we're going to do all of that in today's call. And looking at the DXY, we've had a run into deep premium. I'm interpreting what I'm saying, so you don't get confused. We had a run into deep premium where price is like very expensive. And if you look by this side, we have like a fair value gap. What type of fair value gap is that? A sell side imbalance and a buy side inefficiency. So the run into this is price trying to make the buy side efficient since it's inefficient. So that run there, also taking out what these highs. So liquidity, buy stops will be above these highs, buy stops. We'll run into there and what all of a sudden we start coming down. When we came down, we bought from this other block, right? Because the other block is active. It's still a very active phenomenon right now, and that's what I want you to know. Like very, 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 very fucking active. This other block, as long as the mean threshold of it, which is 50% of it, holds price, the probabilities that we'll see higher prices is more than 50% in my opinion. So once we dropped down here, we talked about how price can push up, and we had that push even onto the next week. This was the last time we did our call. So we ran for premium. There was a tiny imbalance here, which we filled, and it started to come down to sell side. Started to come down to 50% of this. And I'm just going to mark it out 50% of this other block, the bodies. We're going to use the bodies of the candles. Let's see, for some weird reason, like price is at that level right now. Price closed at that 50% level. I'm going to delete that just so you know, and then let's face present price action. So we had run into that inefficient price action, the CB, and then we get the displacement down. We return into this FVG. There's a tiny FVG there. Institutional order flow entry drill, and then we get what they run to this sell stop. And we are at 50% of this. We know that we have sell side below this. So we have like a structure that we are operating within. So from this range high to this range low, you can see that we're like in discount. We're looking at this, and obviously you can see the PDR reader supports discount price action on this framework has to be this big red candle, which is the other block. So knowing that, everything becomes clearer, and going into this new week, your new goal should be what side am I going to lean on? And for me, it's a very indecisive week. First of all, I like us to just go to Forex Factory. Forex Factory is where you get all of the high impact and medium impact windows, as well as bank holidays for the week. And then Forex Factory, I'm just going to use my filter icon here, and I like to put off the medium impact on this. I like to put it off, and because I trade AUD, S&P 500, and BTC, I just have this marked. If you trade Euro and GBP, you obviously want to be concerned about the news and talk around if you want. This is mainly for bank holiday, and then you click apply filter. Then I don't want that. I want this. Yeah, so going into this new week, 24th to 28th, apply settings. What's the biggest news you have this week, in my opinion? Let's just say maybe CB back confidence and unemployment claims. Yeah, but we don't have any impact at all. So we don't. And AED CPI is like in the midnight, Nigerian time, midnight, right? Yeah, midnight Nigerian time. So that's when this is going to happen. But the USD high impact is on Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. Knowing that, and I know that we don't have like FOMC basically. So this is like the last week of just like going to take it slow. Since we've run above this, obviously we've taken buy side, we shifted below a low right now because you remember how we marked this as a draw liquidity. Shifted a low below that. Now, do we continue to see lower prices, or does it rally lower and then start to push higher? No. You see, I'm not really able to pick one side here. I'm not able to say oh, this thing is going to go higher or lower. There will be certain instances like this instance when we rallied into this other block for the first time and seeing how we were inside this inefficiency at that time. You see the confidence level we had in leaning towards higher prices is way different than now. Am I clear, my bro?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like it's way different than now because now the only thing that comes to our mind is, yo, do we continue to see higher prices or do we continue to see lower prices? Because after this have shifted, it didn't show like it didn't displace. Do you get? It didn't displace. Let's say this formed like an inefficient price action. I'll know that any return will come again. Let's say that this candle has an inefficient price action like a fair value gap. Any return into that level, I'll anticipate it as what a movement down because what we had shifted below this low. But seeing last week and how indecisive last week was, going into this new week, you have to be very careful. Why? Because this order block is still very potent. So you trying to short will do you more, would be very low probability. And you trying to long right now without any strong setup will also be very low probability. So you should be fine with letting Monday pass you, in my own opinion. I'm going to be very, very reluctant to placing trades tomorrow. And I'm going to be very fine with that, and just be very active in other areas of my life. But this order block is very potent. And I showed the 50% of it, which is where we are. So going into this new week, I have this approach of indecisiveness to it. I have to, because of this indecisiveness here, you can do one of two things. You can either wait or you go to the bonds, the treasury bonds market, and you compare this with what the treasury bonds are saying. Because you see the weekly framework we've had, we're just rallying in this area and look at that inefficiency, how it's reduced. But this one now, this is where we are right now. So do we see that continued higher prices to where to take out this high, where this pricing is expensive? Whatever it does here should not be none of our business, but we can clearly see an inefficient price action. Does price go up there? So if price is going to go up on ZB, what is it going to do on DXY? My bro, if price is going to go up on ZB treasury bonds, what is it going to do on the DXY?
It will fall.
Right? What did you say?
Yeah, I said it will fall. It will fall.
It will fall, yeah. So if it will fall, you can open the daily time frame and say, oh, where is this thing likely to fall to on the daily time frame? Where is it coming from? Look at where price is coming from, right?
Yeah,
CB dropped down. Where is the next place this thing could go? Even before here, what do we have here? The fair value.
very
So it's
little bit.
tiny, but it's inefficient on sell side. There was no selling at this area here. Look at this movement here. Every time price moved up, it came down to what? Rebalance the candle number one. Rebalance it. It leaves an inefficient price action here. And what does price come to do? Data comes and fuels this inefficient price action. So price is a combination of inefficient price action and liquidity. You get so in this imbalance, look at how we fueled it. All right. And look at how we utilize our volume imbalances. Very beautiful to see a movement high. The market structure shifts below this low, we return into what? This premium pricing, and then this rally down. This, I'm not going to just start buying today. I'm going to wait on this daily time frame. Is there an area that will be like a good area to what do some buying of? Obviously, we have this inefficient, is a buy side imbalance, sell side inefficiency. So because it's inefficient on sell side, any sell positions, I'd love to take them. Any sell positions to that level, I would love to, put money on that. And this is where premium pricing. So we have another level here where price can get into it, and I'll be very confident in looking for lower prices, which also rhymes with the fact that what ZB could what ZB could go higher to where this high. And obviously, look at this area. So do we have lots of volume imbalances, inefficiencies. We have that. So there's a reason for price to go higher. Why it has also shifted above this high. So you see lots of confidences. You go back to your DXY and you're like confident. Oh, at least even in an indecisive the daily time frame, I can anticipate like a high probability setup down here because I know if this thing is going to short, I know it can get here. And if it doesn't come here to short, when it gets here, I can long. It hopes that it's going to get here, and you understand. And what do we have here? Volume imbalance. So let's clean this. We've visualized everything, the volume imbalances. Let's clean it and let's mark what we need to mark. and then so we have this volume imbalance here. When price opens up and maybe gaps down and starts to show signs for buying from this area, I'm still going to trust this thing to buy. Why? Because on our weekly time frame, when I showed you my structure, yeah, we're in discounts. That's number one. And on the daily time frame, we're in an order block that has what? A fair value gap. So that's like a high probability area. And if we're going to buy here, ZB is going to what? Fall. Okay. So if we're going to rally here, go for higher prices, ZB is going to be seeking lower prices. But this area becomes a what? Premium pricing. So when price returns here, it's expensive relative to where we think price is likely to draw to, which is this imbalance here. So you have to put these things into perspective and know that there is nothing you cannot do, really. There is nothing. You just have to have like a very long term mindset. When we were calling prices around this area, we did it. We did it. That's the same thing we're doing here. And we would learn from this basically. So higher prices, I'm going to stick to higher prices on DXY as long as this order block is still potent. When we go below these lows, we'll talk about it. And until then, just know that we'll keep talking about higher prices. I'm going to lean on higher prices until we pick out this low. And if this is the only good setup I find this week, which is going lower to this imbalance, going lower to this imbalance, and maybe the rest of the week can go lower to this level. But this is my high probability trade. The fact that we can rally into this premium and what sell to this discount. That's like the highest probability trade I'm going to put money on for the week. And as long as we don't trade below this order block, which is this series of selling, obviously that becomes another block because price broke above it, right? As long as we don't break below 50% of it, I am confident that we'll see higher prices. And even though we come down here and show signs, I'm confident that this is I'm going to be buying from here to here and show signs from this level. I'm going to be buying from here to here. So things like that. I don't want this video to be too long, my bro. Do you have any input, Da Vinci?
No, I basically don't have any.
I didn't hear you.
No, I don't have anything. I don't have anything.
For real? That's very
You want
unlikely.
me to? You want me to add something to it?
No, like if you want to add something.
No, like I think it's good now with the comparisons with the ZB.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
that's what we're looking forward to the week. Um, when it comes to the buyers for looking for lower prices into the sell side liquidity, I'm also supporting it, but I really don't. I'm waiting for like Monday to unfold
yeah.
to Monday's price action so that we can be certain you get, because we have like a fair value gap premium that already been created for price to drop into, and then um and maybe go lower, and also um price can continue to rally higher, get in order to squeeze the shorts. So you should also be ready for something like that. So, but we'll be looking forward to Monday, like the first quarter of the week, to see what the algorithm is trying to tell us, so we can know how we can. And there's no news on Monday, and there's news Tuesday, 3 p.m. Consumer confidence. So we have news on Tuesday. I don't trade the Aussie dollar, but CPI is something that should act as volatility um for Aussie dollar. Yeah, maybe
Yeah.
for traders.
If this is going to happen in the midnight here, then London session should be a very good time to hunt for this.
Yes,
Obviously,
very true,
just
very
like
true.
this time, obviously. This is Asian session.
Yeah, this is the Asian session.
London session will be a very good time. So post CPI, you still have that volatility.
Yeah, true,
Yeah,
true.
that's one thing. So, so
That's if the Asian section doesn't get volatile. If the
yeah,
whole volatility happens during the Asian section, then we might see the London session consolidating, and then we might see a reversal or an expansion lower in continuation for
let's let's
Aussie
add,
dollar.
let's add GPP because I have quite a number of the people viewing this pound traders. Yeah,
For
so
GBP,
that's right. So but there's no high impact news on GBP
no,
this week.
there's no high impact news on
Wow.
GBP. There's no high impact news. We've been relying on the dollar for this week. Unemployment claims is something that I'm looking forward to at the later part of this week. And for EU, I think we have elections. I think they have Germany has an election. Get this week. Germany has an election tomorrow.
That's
I think today.
Friday.
Hmm?
This one, are you talking of this?
No, 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 no.
Okay, tomorrow.
Yeah, it's supposed to be Monday. Yeah.
I'm not sure it's on Friday because I can't see it here. But yeah, um, let's go back to let's just look at GPT USD. I call it a night. And the weekly time frame, monthly, 3 months, 6 so months, yeah, 6 months, 3 months. Shifted below this low. So taking buy side, huge this imbalance where shifted below this low. Will we come here? I don't know. The lower price action will tell us. In the monthly, feel this imbalance and this other block. So other block here, and then we took out buy side, shifted below this low. Where are we returning to? So we have a breaker here because this is the last sell candle prior to the buys that took out buy side liquidity. So breaking that becomes a breaker. It was an old order block, becomes a breaker. And then do we return to the breaker, which has this imbalance, and from this level, I'll be looking for shorts from this level. So do we sell off from this level? And is this like an equal low type shape? Is it? We don't know. Let's go to the lower time frame. But we know that here is what premium pricing, right? Anything on this area is premium pricing. So if you're seeing buy setups, you know how far you're willing to take your buy setups to. Because on the monthly, you know there's a key level there. I'm just going to take this breaker out and give the imbalance to the weekly. And this is what we have. So this is the monthly imbalance. This is the run above buy side. This is the breaker somewhere here. And then we have an imbalance to here, right? So what are we doing right now? We're taking out sell side. Obviously, we've not but we've shifted above the short term high. So I'm going to say that as market structure shift. I'm going to label that with a pixel of 2 and a blue mark just to show that buying market structure shift. Now, after the market structure shift, we know that we have what that imbalance on the monthly time frame, isn't it? We have it here. On the weekly time frame, what do we have? We have buy side there, which makes up for what? The imbalance. So you see, liquidity is also imbalance somehow. Liquidity can be inside of an imbalance. Liquidities are inside of an imbalance. So yeah, after this market structure shift, what have we done? We've shown that there's a breaker here, right? Shown that there's a breaker here. It's the last green candle prior to the rundown that took out sell side. So it's the last buying candle. Obviously, there's a bigger one here, but we're still inside of this hole. So because we shifted above this and the body closed above this, I can consider this tiny candle as a breakout. Now I'm going to open this more and I'm going to show this. This is a breaker and we also have like a tiny imbalance here. So I'm going to mark that breaker to the imbalance just to be able to mark both of them and draw it out. So on my weekly time frame, this is what we have. Going into this new week, which we just started, I'm going to be looking for higher prices because of how it is. And yes, you could find setups for lower prices, but I'm not going to be willing to take those setups less than this level because I know we had a body close above this high. Now, at this junction, I'm going to ask myself, me leaning towards higher prices, is it high probability or is it just me wanting to, do something? We can go back to DXY and compare. What do we have going to DXY this week? We talked about lower pricing or higher pricing, right? So if we're going to go lower beginning of the week, we know what we know GU should go higher beginning of the week. All right. And if we come down here, if we're returning to the breakout, we know that any good setups, any setups we're seeing in either London or New York, I'm trying to buy with hopes that we're going to get to the monthly imbalance, which is a weekly buy side here. Okay. So we know that this imbalance is here. we know there's a breaker here, so we have reasons, we have areas for higher prices. So discount, this becomes discount to premium. Now, knowing this, I'm going to open my daily time frame. My daily time frame, what do we have? We have an order block here, pushed, right? We have another block here, pushed. Let's look at the sell side of the curve, right? Let's see, do we have anything here that can check the low of this candle? The low of this candle is 6661. The high of this candle is 667. So there's no imbalance here, but we have another block here. We have buy side here. So we're going to mark out this buy side. I'm going to mark out the buy side, which we did. Buy side liquidity is staying above that. And this is what my targets will be, even before what? The weekly objective, which I'm going to put a circle on. So even though we know that that imbalance is, oh, we have like 10 minutes more. Even though we know that that imbalance is like very, very, it's a very big draw. We have to consider the daily key levels to lead out to that level. So on the weekly time frame, this is a weekly breaker as well as a weekly market structure break. So on the daily time frame, we have this order block, sell side below here, and imbalance here. So I'm going to take away this breaker and mark this imbalance just so my chart isn't done. So this area, we have sell side here. So we have like, equal lows if they're going to bring price down. If for any reason price comes down, we have like equal lows because this is sell side and there's an imbalance. And you know what I said about imbalances? Imbalances are, let me come again. Imbalances are like liquidity. So let's just mark that out. So either ways, if we come down below this low and take out straight into this imbalance, we'll be looking for higher prices, right? If we don't, we trade above this high and we're showing setups for higher prices. I'll join with wholesalers get here. If we trade above this high and we're showing setups for higher prices, I'll join to get here. When we get here, I'm done trying to buy. I'm going to reanalyze, reschedule. My weekly plan is done. Okay. I don't think anybody should be trying to do more than a weekly plan. This is why I'm making these videos and this is why I'm making them this long. They're for me. So I can go back through them. If anybody learns through them, that's fine. But this is just us putting our journal online. So British pound, buy side, that'll be acting as draw on 4 hour time frame. Let's see what we have. Obviously, that order block on the daily now has what an imbalance on the 4 hours. So the rest of today, in London or New York or whatever, this level we push up over it and target this highs basically. That should be an objective. That should be an objective. So trying to get here is my play for the week on GBP USD. Yeah, that's basically it. If we do get return to the weekly fair value gap here, which I'm going to mark right now. This weekly imbalance, if we do get a return, we know what is actually playing. We know that this weekly imbalance is a daily what sell side. So the 1 hour time frame, this is going to be it. This is the framework we have. Yeah, so that brings us to the end of this. I hope it was very insightful, you guys.
Yeah, it was very insightful.
Yeah, thank you so much for sharing up, man. Thank you for holding me accountable to this. Bless you, Nigeria. I'll try and make videos during the week, just so we can check back with what DXY is actually doing midweek.
Yeah, very, very important.
Very important. So we can have like an active journal of what's going on within that week. What we talked about the week before Monday started, the week before the open of the week, price action before the open of the week, price action within the week, and price action at the end of the week, leading to the next week, stuff like that. Thank you, everyone who's watching. I'm waiting for you guys, and I know you're learning one way or the other. You're learning if not, you have been watching. So, yeah, see you in the next video, guys. Bye.
Bye.